Welcome to Module 2 of the Maximus online training videos. In this section we'll look at creating a new file for a client as well as capturing all the initial data. To create a new client, on the main menu we will go to Depth Review. The initial option we will select here is New Depth Review. Once I've selected New Depth Review, it will open up the system file for me where I can go and create a new client. As you can see, it's saying here loading library. The first time you go into the system, initially or after an update, it will always take a little bit longer as it is actually downloading the system onto your computer so that it can function there. After you've done this, it will be a lot faster, and the next time it will only load in the client's data and won't have to upload the entire application each time. Once this is done, we will see the new request section appear on the screen. The reason for this section is to capture the first initial details about the client and also to make sure that the client hasn't been loaded on the system already. So I can start off with and type in an ID number for the client. I can select which type of ID it is. Is it a South African ID number or a passport number? Can type in the surname, can type in the first name, can type in the initials, and then I can also type in the birth date. I can select it from the calendar to insert the date automatically, or I can actually enter the date entered in the format of having the year first, then the month, then the day, without anything separating them. The next one is to assign a debt counselor to this client. And I can do that by clicking on the little ellipsis next to Dev Counselor. Anywhere where you see the three dot button in the system, it indicates that there's a search prompt, somewhere I can search for something. Now if I want to add a Dev Counselor, I'll go to the field called Agent, and in the Agent field I can enter the DC number of the Dev Counselor that I want to use. I go here and I search for NCIDs. I'll see on my training system here there are two different debt counselors loaded. I can simply select one. You would search for your own DC number and select that one, and it will assign that to the client. After I've entered all of this, I can select search, which will look if a client with this specified details already exists. If he does, he would appear here on the results side section. As it is, if he is not there, so then I can simply click next. What the system will then do is validate some of the data I have inputted. If I look here, it says that the ID number is invalid. The system has a algorithm to check whether the ID number entered is valid and correct. It will also compare the date of birth to the ID number, and all those sort of cross validations are built in to ensure the data that is captured is as accurate as possible. Once I've corrected the validation, I can click next, and now it will say, oh, but wait, there's a client with this ID number already. So although maybe the rest of my details ain't the same, there's a client with this exact same ID number that already exists. And all validations will be handled like this, that the actual field that gets validated will be highlighted red. If you hover over it will give you a little detail message about what was invalid about that field. In the interim, for me to just get around this, I'll make this a passport number, which will mean it will pick it up slightly differently so that I can go and create this client. Now that we said create the client, it has gone in and into the main file. You'll see there's a lot more details now, but that little bit I have completed has been populated here. I can now go and complete all the rest of the details for this client.